GM everybody, this is hopefully quite a quick video explaining Polkadot Vault and derivation paths. I see a few people every so often having issues with understanding this, so hopefully this video will help. So we're going to explain derivation paths in hopefully easy to understand language, and then we're going to talk about how to fix a common problem, which is when you send tokens cross-chain using XCM, not being able to access the funds on a different chain, and it's because of derivation paths. So I think we're all familiar with seed phrases. It's 12 or 24 or however many words that when put together basically are your private key, right? It's a easy to read format for your private key. And I think we all understand when you change one word in your seed phrase, you get a different account. I think that's quite easy to understand. Now, in the Polkadot ecosystem and the general substrate ecosystem, this is how it works. This is from a video that I made like 2 years ago. You have your public-private key pair. Again, your private key can represent in the form of a seed phrase. This creates a bunch of different account addresses for you, but this is all controlled by the same private key, the same seed phrase. You can see that the Polkadot account here is like 12MNDP something. And the Kusama one is completely different. It starts with an E instead of a 1, for example. But all of these accounts are controlled by the same private key, the same seed phrase. Now, derivation paths act like an extension to your seed phrase. So, for example, like we said previously, if you change the word eagle to something else, you get a different account. You should think of derivation paths as being basically the same thing. Whereas if you add /Polkadot, as your derivation path, it will give you a fundamentally different account from if you used anything else, because it's like changing your seed phrase. And thanks to my friends at Nova for this graphic. So, for example, if you use the /Polkadot derivation path, you can actually generate accounts on multiple networks, on Polkadot, on Kusama, or Hydration, or any other network with the /Polkadot path. Because you have used the /Polkadot derivation path, it will generate the same account on all of these networks, right? So for example here, the scenario that I see a lot is people with dot on Polkadot using the /Polkadot derivation path. They then transfer it to HydraDX and try and use the /HydraDX derivation path. And I know HydraDX is being changed to Hydration, but it uses this derivation path by default in Polkadot Vault currently. Because of what we said before, these are fundamentally different accounts. It's like changing your seed phrase. So if you cross-chain tokens from Polkadot to HydraDX or Hydration, you want to use the /Polkadot derivation path, but for the Hydration/HydraDX network, that will give you the same underlying account or private key. So let's talk about how to do this, because by default, Polkadot Vault creates different derivation paths for each network, which is causing this problem. So we can see these are some accounts that I've added using the default Polkadot Vault process. So we can see here in pink, we have a Polkadot account. You can see the logo here, and it has the /Polkadot derivation path. However, when I add a HydraDX or Hydration account, by default, it uses the derivation path /HydraDX, which is fundamentally a different account. So if you cross-chain transfer dot to Hydration and you send it to the same account, you will not see your tokens on Hydration when trying to use this account, because it is, again, a fundamentally different account. So let's talk about how you can actually add the correct account. In Polkadot Vault, press this plus button at the top right. You will then get the list of networks that you've added to your Polkadot Vault. You need to add the chain specs and metadata. There's guides for that somewhere else, but if you need me to make one, I can do that as well. Select the network that you want to add a derived account for, but do not press this create key thing. This is where people are getting stuck, right? What you want to do is actually scroll down and you will see add custom derivation path. You want to click that one, not create key. You will be presented with this kind of screen, and by default, this will include the name of the network by default. So /HydraDX or /ackchyually or /Bifrost, right? But because we want to access the same account but on this network, we want to use the /Polkadot account because that's the account we sent the tokens from. So delete everything and add /Polkadot. You want to tick this box and then press done. And now you will see you have a new account. So you have this Polkadot account with /Polkadot, which we had previously that we cross-chain transferred tokens from potentially. And now we have this Hydration or HydraDX account with the /Polkadot derivation path. These are the same underlying accounts, but on different networks, as we spoke about in this slide. It's the same account with just different address formats. So if you had that problem where you cross-chain transfer tokens and can't access them, this is how you fix that. If there are any issues, please leave a comment or write to me on Twitter or Telegram or Discord, and I am happy to help.